Webster's dictionary defines love as...
shut up!
Love does not define a woman's worth.
Love is when you need someone else's validation to feel good about yourself.
Love is not a priority.
Love in the media is portrayed as something a woman needs in order to have a purpose. Can a woman even function if she doesn't have a man? Romantic comedies would tell you we can't.
This is the story of two girls, a leggy brunette,
A busty blonde,
their desperate need for validation,
and the boy who was in the right place at the right time.
Are you sure it wasn't the wrong place at the wrong time?
It might have been the right place at the wrong time.
What about the wrong place at the right time?
I don't think it matters.
Before we start, Rossi actually suggested that we cut out some of the cliches, but then the boy in the story would disappear entirely. This is a thank you letter to that boy, however sociopathic he may be. Thank you for leading me to my best friend, for forcing me to cope with being alone, and for making me capable of standing on stage to shout these grievances. Thank you for leaving me with an empty space that I learned to fill with writing and laughter.
When we met you, we were stuck in the mindset that we needed our rom-com moment. Little did we know you had copied every aspect of your personality from indie films, John Green novels, and Tumblr text posts. You were exactly what we wanted when we wanted it, so I guess it really was right place at the right time.
We like to laugh at the way you manipulated us into hating each other, but you even manipulated us into hating ourselves. I didn't necessarily like who I was before you, but I certainly did not like who I was with you. I felt like I only existed when you looked at me, and I seemed to fade away when you didn't. I was a fourth choice, an afterthought, a last resort, and a chore.
I was always waiting at your beck and call. I mistook your flakiness for spontaneity, I mistook your attention for affection, and I mistook your dismissal for just another reason why I wasn't good enough.
All right, Chloe, it's time to quit bitching and get on with the real story.
Woo! Quite some time ago, on a freshman campus far, far away, these two girls hated each other. They were competing for the affections of the same boy.
Cue the boy with the flippy hair and the jeans so skinny they wouldn't make it past my calves. He flashed a charming smile and I looked into those blue eyes. He called me Fish because he wrote me letters with hook, line, and sinkers in the form of forevers and you smell nice.
He winked and asked, "Will you go on an adventure with me?" I can still smell the peanut butter on his breath.
We were in like with him.
But I cannot count the times I heard him say, "You two should be friends, you would really get along.
You have the same taste in boys.
Your tumblers are the same aesthetic.
You go to all the same concerts.
You both love spending money on me.
You both love my peanut butter breath. And you're both always waiting for me."
Maybe as girls do, we were overthinking it. Let's say you had no sociopathic tendencies or manipulative intentions.
You did.
And that you were just clueless to the way girls think. Whatever your intentions, it seemed like we were being pitted against each other.
Our time together was so intertwined that when we sat down to write this piece, we realized that we were writing the same story.
Let's flash forward through a year and a half of being led on, held close, pushed away, and dropped like a hot potato. The distance that formed between us may have been involuntary on my part, but I'm thankful for it. Seeing you go from girl to 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 girl after me helped me realize it wasn't my fault I wasn't good enough for you. Nobody was good enough for you. Your standards were so impeccably high they could not be reached by any living woman. You were looking for your perfect leading lady, but alas, we are not Emma Stone, and you are certainly no Ryan Gosling.
That following summer was rough. I wrote and wrote until all my pens ran out of ink and I still couldn't figure out why I felt the way I did. What I did know was that it wasn't because I wasn't good enough or the girl after me or the girl after her. I actually had to crack open my journals from our time together to remember the person I was 4 years ago. It wasn't as painful as I thought because I've learned that the past is easier to face when it's accepted. You always hounded me for my journals because you knew I wrote about you.
He was always digging for an ego boost.
An excerpt from the night of December 13th, 2012. I almost wish there was another girl so I could justify feeling this miserable and still wanting you. Little did I know this other girl would become one of my closest friends.
It's amazing how much I used to hate you.
Another excerpt that sums up our entire relationship. You make me laugh, but sometimes I want to punch you in the throat. It's still relevant.
I wasn't sentimental enough to keep any of your letters. Once I had moved from denial to anger, those letters were ripped up and recycled. But there's one thing you wrote me over and over again that is forever ingrained in my memory. You wrote, and I quote, "I'm scared I'm falling in love with you." I mean, If you need any more confirmation that this boy is the biggest cliche in the book, there it is, folks. People don't say stuff like that in real life. It doesn't make sense.
You had us completely duped. The only heist bigger than the one you pulled on us was the triple kill I helped organize in Assassins.
We had convinced ourselves what we felt for you was love because that's what the romantic comedies taught us. When a boy gives you snuggles and tells you you're pretty, you tell him you love him, no questions asked. But that's the contrived, condensed version of love we've been taught to expect since birth. Real love is more complex, and as an 18-year-old, I've only just started to figure it out.
Love is when I treat myself to that cupcake because I deserve it, even though it goes straight to these thighs.
Woo! And on the lips, over on the hips.
Love is matching my underwear and bra, even though no one's gonna see it, but I know that I look cute.
Love is spending $25 at Lush on bath bombs, lotion, and other products I don't need just so I can have a relaxing spa night.
Love is looking at myself in the mirror without makeup on and deciding, I'm cute enough to go outside without contouring first.
Love is also putting on as much makeup as you want and not taking anybody's crap for it because I know I look good regardless. Some days I wake up and my hair is too fluffy, my hips look too wide, and it's sort of hard to love myself. My relationship with myself is the most important one I've got, and it certainly needs the most upkeep. So on those bad days, I convince myself if I can find one good thing, then I'll be okay. So I look in the mirror, past my imperfections, and I say, Chloe, you've got an ass that won't quit. And you're gonna have a killer day. And what do you know? I feel better.
Although it's so hard to choose the best thing about me, it would be my confidence that slightly borders on arrogance. I have to praise myself for all that I've been through because I know that I only deserve great things. I'm funny and intelligent. When I shave my legs, they look pretty good. Romantic comedies cannot profit off of girls who love themselves because they realize that they don't need the rom-com moment.
It didn't actually take me that long to get over you, but it did take me a long time to stop being bitter about it. Sometimes I still find myself resenting you, but how can I not? You completely collapsed the shell of naivety I had so precariously built around myself. In the end, I guess I should be thanking you for that. It means I won't get fooled again.
All I needed when I was 14 was a boy to tell me that I'm pretty. At 17, I need someone to challenge me, question my thoughts, love my mind, and laugh at my bad jokes. I need someone who will let me eat the french fries off their plate after I promise that I'm not hungry. Maybe this boy will have worn black skinny jeans and swishy hair.
Maybe he'll have a penchant for indie films and John Green novels. But he sure as hell won't have peanut butter breath.